A guten Erev Shabbos. We're about to enter into a beautiful Shabbos, a very special one. Because if we can say this Shabbos is the most significant and consequential one of the entire Torah and impacted the world and the Jewish people more than any other Torah portion. Because in this week's Torah portion, we read about the Ten Commandments. And we all know that the greatest gift God gave the Jewish people and gave the world is the Torah. It's morality, it's ethics, how to live your life. The fourth of the 10 commandments is to keep the Shabbat. Shamor, Zachor et Yom HaShabbat L'Kadsho, remember this Shabbos and keep it holy, sanctify it. And yet, in Deuteronomy, the Torah portion says, Shamor, guard it. And as we say in L'chad Dodi, every single Friday night, we asked, what do we say? Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad. That the word shamor, which means to guard it, which we read in Deuteronomy when Moses repeats the Ten Commandments, and zachor, which means remember the Shabbat, which we read this week when we read the original Ten Commandments, were both said in one breath, which no human being could understand and grasp. God said both of them together. But why shamor and zachor? Why do we need both? Why is one not enough? And the Rebbe tells us something very beautiful. You know, you marry the love of your life, and there's all these beautiful things you do to celebrate. You go on a romantic vacation, you have a honeymoon, you have a special Saturday night where you go out together and you tell your spouse how much you love them and how much you can't live without them. That's all so beautiful. That's the zachor, to remember the beauty, the love. But you know what? You can't have that without shamor, without guarding. There's rules in a marriage. There's faith. There's being faithful to your partner. There's doing the things that your partner might want you to do, which are not easy for you. If it's taking out the garbage, if it's making your bed, if it's cleaning up, if it's cooking dinner. Of course, it's nice to have the zachor, the remembering, the romance, the yes, I do. But without the I don't, you can't have an I do. And when the Torah is telling us so powerfully and profoundly, with the Ten Commandments, and God saying one time Zachor and one time Shamor, one time yes and one time no, is that in order to be a good Jew, in order to celebrate and for the continuity and the future of Judaism, you can't just be a chopped liver Jew. You can't just eat bagel and lox on Sunday morning or matzah ball soup on Friday night or have delicious challah with onions on it. You can't just be a cultural Jew. Those are beautiful things. Shamor is beautiful. Zachor is beautiful, to remember the beauty of what it means to be Shabbat. But the only way that allows to survive is if you have Shamor, if you guard that which the Torah tells us you can't do. If you keep the Shabbat sacred, if you put away your phone, if you celebrate Shabbat dinner, if you go to shul on Shabbat, if you focus on kosher, on all those things that might be hard, but they allow for the remembrance, for the zachor. It's something so important in our life because it's so easy to just take the romanticized, traditional, cultural part of Judaism, but it'll never last if you don't have the laws, the traditions, the things that we can and can't do. You know, today in the morning when I came to shul with Moshe, he told me he has to run up, he has to go get something printed out on the computer. And he printed out, "Happy birthday, Eli," in Portuguese. And I said, "Moshe, what's this for?" And I came home and I found out. And this really made me think. Moshe is in a school and they have a custodian, a caregiver whose name is Eli. Eli helps with the lunches, he cleans up, he keeps the school in order. He came from Portugal, from Brazil. And every time he asks Moshe, you know, do you have any empty cans of soda or bottles? I want to take them to Stop and Shop and be able to get the refund. And Moshe and his friend decided, they heard that Eli was having his 50th birthday this week. And Moshe and his friend collected 500 cans. Every time he asked them, do they have any cans? They said no. It was the Shamor. They said there is none. They collected 500 cans. They put into 2 boxes. They wrapped the top of the boxes. They put a bow on it. They organized that the entire class should write a card to him wishing him a happy 50th birthday. Then Moshe came home last night and he baked a cake with cream and sprinkles. And he brought it to him. And when he came, Moshe and his friend gave him the cake. They gave him the card from the whole class and they showed him the cans. And he opened it up and he started crying. And he says, I'm here for 25 years with my family. And I never had such a gesture. I don't have friends like this. But you young students, Moshe's only 13. But he recognized the value of giving this person and making them feel good. And it struck me that he kept on telling him, no, you can't have the cans. And then he gave him all the 500 cans. Sometimes, in order to have that celebration of the positive, of the good, you have to say no first. And you have to be strict. May we all be kind and generous and giving. And may we celebrate Shabbat, not just culturally, not just Zachor, but Shamor also, remembering that which we're allowed to and not allowed to do. Because that will allow us to cherish Shabbat more, to love it, to embrace it. And I might say, if you're available, tomorrow in Shul is a special week. We're all going to stand up just as our forefathers and foremothers did thousands of years ago. We're going to face the Torah. And we're going to hear those 10 commandments reverberate through the Shul again as we accept our connection to God and the Torah and the mitzvot, the commandments. God bless you. Shabbat Shalom and see you tomorrow.